This is the third video I'm filming in this series, but it may be like the fifth video overall. I'm filming these out of sequence. Now, we're going to talk about rifles today. My two examples are my M1 carbine and the blue tape, because it's a pain in the ass to keep the handguard on when it fires. And my personal favorite of all time, the Ruger Mini 14. This is the Ranch Model 5.56 all stainless version. Now, several things about the rifle. Yes, they are cleared. I have to film this one now because I'm in the house alone. Now, a rifle is most of the time 3 times as powerful as a handgun. The .30 carbine bullet has been described as a souped up .38 special. That's what I've heard described sometimes. The 5.56 bullet / .223 bullet is a .22 caliber bullet that is neck down a little more and has a very, very high powder charge behind it. A 5.56 is typically 3 times the power of a .45 ACP. Rifles are almost always more accurate because the barrel length here is about 18.5 inches as opposed to 4 inches for a handgun. Also, the sight picture. Rear sight is here, front sight is here, and you have that entire distance to level out. Most rifles will have better capability for accessories. Yes, I know this is a blank rifle, but a lot of pistols have a Picatinny rail on them, but rifles, probably not this one, but a lot of rifles can have pick rails and shit like that for optics and lights and lasers and how crazy you want to get. And I can get a light to clamp onto here. Maybe I should do that. And rifles, on a personal, this is a case-by-case basis, but I would say, and you got to put into effect, I would say the rifle will be more intimidating than the handgun when shown. Also, the rifle, when you have a handgun, you shoot one hand, it's 1 point of contact. 2 hands, 2 points of contact. When I shoot with this rifle, it is 3 points of contact. I have my dominant hand, which is my left hand here. I have my secondary hand, which is my right hand here. And I have my shoulder. And I really get in, there's no one behind the camera, just so we're on the same page. It's a totally safe area. And I really get in close and personal, and the rifle is anchored to my body very tightly. So that will help me with stabilization and stuff like that. And that's pretty much the general good thing about the rifle. Now, the bad things about the rifle are the rifle is probably more likely to overpenetrate than a handgun, because being propelled at a greater speed. Don't forget, the accuracy comes from this long barrel, but this long barrel also gives it more force energy, and that energy can pierce through walls a lot easier than a pistol could, or even a shotgun could. Other bad thing is some people with disabilities, my fingers move slow in this hand, but I can still use this hand. In fact, I can shoot a handgun one-handed with my right hand. But guys that have missing fingers, guys that have missing hands, guys that have a frozen arm or some have a very serious problem would probably have a very hard time controlling a rifle or even a shotgun, because a lot of these rules are interchangeable in a high pressure situation. Okay. Also, I would have a hard time talking on the cell phone while engaging the suspect, as opposed to if I had a handgun doing this. Okay. Also, it's not as easy to store. I can't put this in my nightstand drawer. I can't put this in the cabinet. I can't put this under the desk. Okay, this is harder to find storage space for. And I know I have to get a sling. A lot of guys will tell you to have a sling in your rifle, which I still have to get, because if you're engaged at home, the rifle might be taken away from you, because a lot of times handguns are so close in, they're so small, the bad guy, as soon as he gets a hold of you, cannot grab you. But there's a little more room for purchase here, so if I'm like this, the bad guy can grab it and pull. And if I have a sling on me, hopefully it'll be much more difficult for him. And also I can engage him with a secondary weapon, the K-bar. And you can put this on your pajama pants, your nighttime pants, the pants that walk around with at night. I don't know if I can put them on underwear, but okay. Also clearing areas. During Hurricane Sandy, at night, I had every door open. And if the door was closed, I knew someone went there. I had the shower curtain open. And if the shower curtain was closed, I know someone had went there. Now, I had to clear the house every single night before I went to bed. Clearing a house with a handgun is a lot easier than a rifle because I have to really work hard to have my muzzle pointed at the threat if I'm opening this door. And my closet is full. But in theory, if your closet had a bad guy in it, see, my arm is like this. I'm not holding it like I should. I'm holding it one-handed, no shoulder, okay? And I'm coming around this way. I might be compromised coming around this way. Now, if I had a second person, the second person could grab the closet door, pull back behind it, and I could engage like this. At an angle and sweep the closet. So it's a little more difficult with rifles and shotguns to do that. Also, moving around objects. It's much easier to move around an object with a handgun than a rifle because I have to really get in like, yeah, I'm dancing with the fucking thing. But I would have a hard time sweeping around corners, around tight spaces. I'd have to put it down or put it up, which is not really safe, or turn it to the side, okay? A handgun, I would have a much easier time just pointing it and going around. So that's a disadvantage of the rifle. And yeah. So those are the pros, those are the cons. Now, one thing you can do to overcompensate the rifle's power is to get a pistol caliber carbine. Now, where I live, you have to have a license to buy a handgun. And there were some guys who were like, I want one weapon for home defense, but I don't want to go through the hassle of getting a handgun license, so I'll buy a pistol caliber carbine. Also, the ranges around here. See, let me take a step back. A lot of ranges in my area did not allow rifles. The outdoor range at Ardsley allowed my .30 carbine, and it was closed down, and the new ranges opened up to allow higher caliber rifles rather, and shotguns. But a lot of times, for many years, guys in my hometown, or my home area, they'd have to take a rifle or a shotgun, put it in the trunk of their car, and drive an hour north with it in order to go shooting with it. So a lot of times, depending on where you live, where your ranges are like, you may have a hard time finding a rifle range. You gotta look into that. Now around here, we have handgun ranges, and the handgun range would say no rifles except 22 caliber. And what you would do is you would go to the range master, and you would tell the range master you got a 9mm rifle, Mickey Mouse, and the range master would close his eyes for an hour while you shot your 9mm pistol caliber carbine at the range. So a lot of guys here would buy a pistol caliber carbine and shoot at handgun ranges. Pistol caliber carbines sometimes can be interchangeable with pistol magazines, such as Beretta 92, Beretta CX4 Storm, Glock, Kel-Tec Sub 2000. Okay? Handgun magazine, handgun ammunition, interchangeable. Now, you could buy a SIG MPX, and there is a 16-inch barrel available. There's also the pistol available, yeah, and this just be all the bullshit. But that's a special magazine. You could also buy an AR, and they have very nice ARs that shoot 9mm. They're not handgun magazines, but they shoot 9mm, and you can get a 10-rounder, and you can take off the buttstock, the pistol grip, and put on the non-pistol grip communist handle, and you can shoot your AR 9mm at a lot of pistol ranges. And there's also the Ruger PC carbine. Now, the Ruger PC carbine was discontinued for decades. They brought it back as a takedown version. So far, it's only available in 9mm. It has no pistol grip, bayonet look, flashlight, all of the bullshit, which could be banned in certain states. It's just a plain Joe rifle. It comes with factory iron sights. It has a couple of pick rails for mounting lights and shit like that. And it'll take either two 10-round or two 15-round Ruger mags, depending on where you live. Or you could take out that and put an adapter, which comes with the rifle, and shoot 9mm Glock mags. So now you have the best of both worlds. You have your pistol caliber, which is less likely to over-penetrate than 5.56. Less likely. Could it? Yeah. But less likely. And you have your rifle accuracy, and that 9mm bullet will pick up a little more energy, and it'll be a little more powerful. But once again, I don't know what your walls are like, so I can't tell you specifically if it's going to penetrate your wall or not. But that might be an option for me. Now, if you told me, Vinny, we have to have a situation inside an apartment, do I want the Ruger Mini or do I want the Ruger PC Carbine? I want the Ruger PC Carbine indoors. If you told me, Vinny, we have to go outside, I want the Ruger Mini. Now, my walls are solid concrete, and I honestly believe that this 5.56 and that 30 carbine will not penetrate my wall. I honestly believe that. However, my doors are not concrete. The interior doors are not concrete, and the windows are not concrete. So I envision this rifle as if I had to stand outside in a shit defense scenario, or on the roof, or on the fire escape, or if I had to stand on the rooftop of a store in like an LA riot situation, or a Baltimore riot situation, or a Ferguson riot situation. Okay, that's where I envision this. Okay, and the SKS and the AK. I envision these intermediate and high caliber rifles to be better suited for outdoor work. During Hurricane Sandy on Long Island, a lot of guys had nice houses and they had the generator hooked up to their house and their power was out for months. And they would literally have the generator, which is powering their house, chained to their fence, and they would have a rifle or shotgun sitting there outside. This is much better suited for outside work in shit as defense situations than it is for inside work in home invasions. Yeah. And like it's a matter of personal preference. What do you want? What do you need? Okay? And those are the pros and the cons. And I think that's about it for pros and cons. I mean, I can't think of anything else we need to cover with this. Okay. I gotta go out in a few minutes. Alright, thank you.